Okay, so hello to my acupressure and acupuncture fans. Today what I wanted to do was show you 3 acupressure points that you can use for coughing. Now, it's January. Many people have been hit with, whatever's the current thing going around. Sounds like there's multiple things going around. So for all of those that are suffering from all manner of respiratory infections and so forth, I just wanted to demonstrate to you 3 points on the arm that are acupressure points that you can use right now on yourself, on your child, on a loved one, to support their breathing, their lung healing, and get rid of the cough. So this is a set of 3 points on the lung channel. These are designated for coughing, colds, and runny nose. So normally in the acupuncture world, I would be using needles to do all of these 3 points at the same time. Okay, so this comes from a concept called the Dao Ma. I love working with Dao Mas. The idea is that 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2, 1 + 1 equals 3. That means 2 or 3 points done together simultaneously on a channel, close together on a channel, is more powerful than any 1 point individually. So there's a synergistic effect going on that is, it's more powerful than what any point or 2 points done alone on a channel would ever achieve. So that's why we do this. Now, because we're not doing acupuncture today, I'm going to show you a couple of different techniques, some workarounds that you can achieve at home using a couple of acupressure techniques. So first of all, let's start by finding the lung channel. So here on my arm, okay, this is the end of the channel, but we're going to start from, I'm going to just show you a picture here. At the start of the lung channel is lung 1, which is in the deltopectoral triangle at the front of the shoulder. And then coming down the arm from there, we're going to get to lung 5. That's at the elbow crease. So right in the elbow crease, you can see on my arm here, okay? So right there. Okay, so lung 5 is here, and then coming down the arm to the wrist crease, we have lung 9 here at the wrist crease. Then we go over into the thenar eminence, that's this meaty area on the hand here. And here we have lung 10. And then at the corner of the thumbnail here, we have lung 11, the end of the channel. So those are your standard international acupuncture points. Now, this set of points we're going to do is called 3 Scholars, and this comes from the Master Tong lineage. It's not the standard 365 acupuncture points. These are another set of, it's another lineage that is very renowned, very effective points. So we're not going to go by lung 5 or lung 9, we're just going to go by the Master Tong names. So we're going to locate these points on our arm. So we're going to find the forearm is divided into 12 units, 12 sun. Now, you're probably all wondering why I've got this yellow patch on my arm, so that's a very good question. So I'm happy to tell you that this is my iodine patch, and I put it on first thing this morning, and the fact that it's still there is showing that my body has not fully absorbed it quickly, which means that I am currently not terribly iodine deficient, which is good. So I do a little iodine patch on my arm or my leg every day. That's how I supplement my iodine, in case you're wondering. So, okay, so back to the lung channel. So the forearm is divided into 12 units called 12 sun. So we're going to start at the wrist crease here. We're going to measure 4 fingers from the wrist crease. So that brings us to right in here. If you come along just with your finger lightly, you can feel a little depression in there. And I'm going to just mark that with my handy dandy eyebrow pencil, eyeliner, I guess. Okay, so this point is 3313. Okay, this is also called Ren Shi. And then our next point is another 4. So that brings us to right in here. You can also feel it with your finger. If you just come along gently, you can feel just a little dip happens at this point. Most of the acupuncture points are in little, you can feel little depressions called tsubos in Japanese. Okay, so this is 3314, which is Di-shi. Okay, and then our last point is another 4 fingers, which you will feel a little depression here. Okay, and then if you want to double check, you can just kind of do it like that. But I go by this might be a little bit more over here. I go by the feel more than anything. Okay, so those are our 3 points. Now, if you're doing this on a child, if you're measuring their points on their arm, I definitely recommend using a pencil for that, just so you're really clear. Now, if you're doing this on a child, someone of a completely different size from you, are you going to be using your fingers to measure, or are you going to be using their fingers to measure? Just think about that for a moment. Okay, so I'll give you the answer. You're going to be using their fingers, excuse me, as a measurement. So, you can just, gauge it. What is 4 of their fingers, and then you're going to put that on their arm. Another way that you can do this quickly is you can just divide this arm into 2. You can just sort of eyeball it, right? So you're going to get a halfway mark about here, and then this point is going to be halfway between the middle and the elbow, and this point is going to be halfway between the midpoint and the wrist crease. Okay. Okay, now, so we have our 3 points located. Now we can stimulate these points in a couple of ways. Now, as I said before, normally with acupuncture, we would be doing these 3 at the same time. For today, with acupressure, what you can do is you can do 2 at the same time. You can start with these 2 and press in. I would use quite a lot of pressure. Okay, so that you really, with this arm, you really kind of feel a little bit of a tenderness, a little bit of an ache, a little bit of a, something happening. Okay, it should feel like, not painful, but like something's being stimulated, something's getting a release. Okay, and then you can also do it like this, these 2 points. Now your fingers are going to get sore, definitely going to get sore. So that's why I'm going to show you a couple of techniques you can do here. Okay, so this is one way of doing 2 points at the same time. So this is allowing the Dharma effect to happen, right? The 1 + 1 = 3 synergistic effect. Now this is going to get very tiring. That's why we do acupuncture, it's so much better. But for you all at home, this is a way to do it. Now, then over here, this is a handy dandy gua sha tool. So this is another way of doing acupressure, right? Just using this is a stone. It's a gua sha, G-A-U-S-H-A, right? So gua sha, you can pick up one of these. They sell them all over the place online. I recommend when you're doing this technique that you're going in the direction of the channel. So this is lung 5 over here, this is lung 9, so the direction is this way down the arm. So I'm going to go like this. And you can see my skin is going red there. So this whole is basically drawing the lung channel. You can see how stimulated that is, and I can really feel it. Okay, so there's that technique. And then finally, for you Qi Gong people, because I know that I've got some Qi Gong people here that are tuned in. Thank you for tuning in. What you can do, I'm just going to draw my points again here, is you can do a Qi Gong technique where you're basically slapping. We learned this when I did some Qi Gong courses. You can use this technique all over the body, basically. I had heard a story of a gentleman he was in the previous year's course, and I go quite strong here. He was in the previous year's course, and he had ridden his bike through the rain and was coming down with a really bad cold from biking in the cold rain, and he did this slapping all over his body, arms, legs, chest, head, neck, everything. It just went really, really hard all over like this. And he was able to, so he did that for a whole hour. He was able to get rid of his cold. So here we're just working on the lung channel. So I would go really hard like that, and you can see it's also going a little bit red from this stimulation, and I like that. I like it when I see this little bit of redness. Okay, so that the blood is coming into the points. Okay, so that's another technique. So you've got 3 techniques there that you can work with. Choose the one you like best. So there you have it. You've got techniques that you can apply, and I look forward to hearing your comments and questions.